This is a Dell Optiplex 7040, and I have a theory about Dell and their computers and why they are so popular in the corporate environment in places like government organizations like the NHS and places like that. And it goes back to something very, very simple. And if you're not aware of it, it may be a bit of a surprise, but it's to do with this, the service tag. The service tag is effectively Dell's serial number, but instead of it being a ridiculously long set of numbers and difficult to read out or type out or write down, they made it really, really short. They made it really, really obvious. And this made a huge difference when it came to getting support for these machines, because you go on Dell's website, you put in this short code and you get all of the information such as the specifications, the warranty status and things like that. And when you have alternatives which have long serial numbers, this is a Toshiba, got a serial number here. You'd have a long serial number, it'd be difficult to find, normally on the bottom or somewhere hidden, and you don't know if it's that or it's that, is this a serial number there? But on other machines, serial numbers were long, awkward, difficult to find, and not obvious, whereas Dell's are so obvious, they're just right on the top, and they don't tend to wear out, whereas other serial numbers on other machines could wear out and become difficult to find. But let's see what this does when we power it up. Back when I worked in IT, let's see if this is going to switch on. Yep, it's making some noise. It's making a hard drive noise. Back when I worked in IT, probably 25 years ago, we were trying all sorts of different computers we hadn't standardized. And so we would say order 5 machines from Tiny Computers. We would order 5 machines from HP. We would buy 5 from Compaq when they were a separate company. And we would buy 5 from Fujitsu, Siemens, and you would be trying them out and seeing how much they cost and whether they were reliable and things like that. And we often found that, you know, one of the Compaqs was a problem with it. One of the Fujitsu, in fact, a lot of the Fujitsu Siemens, they were towers, and the hard drives were on plastic rails, and they slowed to a crawl because they weren't grounded properly or earthed properly. So we had to turn those upside down to get them working properly. But with all of those systems, whenever there was a problem, it was a long, painful process to get support from the companies. Whereas with Dell, you would buy a machine and it would just work. And then if there were problems, you would use the service tag and get it sorted quite quickly. And that was another reason, I think, why Dell was so popular in corporate situations, is that just standardization made so much sense. And the fact that they also made their support so easy to access. You see them everywhere in terms of doctors' surgeries, behind receptions. Yeah. It's really quite quiet, apart from I think there is a mechanical hard drive in there. If I unscrew this, we should be able to have a look inside. Not entirely sure which way it goes. interesting. It looks like this is one of those badges that you can turn around, depending if you're having it that way around or this way around. We've got a spinning 500 gigabyte hard drive there, got a cooler going over the processor, and yes, I should have switched it off before opening it, but you know, here's a video showing that it doesn't actually blow up if you open it while it's on. I will switch it off before putting it back together though. I need to install an operating system on this. Probably good to look in the BIOS as well. See what's going on. I can't press the power button because I've removed it. Okay, I'm in the BIOS. We have got 8 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM to 4 gig sticks. We've got an i3 6100T, so that's a lower power version. That should be upgradable to an i5, I would expect. It's from 2016. If I plugged a mouse in, I would have a mouse that I could use. That's a dual core processor, 3.2 gigahertz. Got a SATA drive connected. There's an M2 somewhere in there by the looks of things. M2 PCIe SSD. Got another SATA connection perhaps. And got the boot sequence. We've got, these are selectable. Looks like everything is fine in terms of the security, and virtualization is enabled, so we should be able to install Windows on this quite easily. Just to emphasize how it compares to other brands, this somewhere on here is a serial number, and it's in the smallest possible writing, in a font that you can barely see, in a color you can barely see, and you need a magnifying glass to be able to read the serial number on this HP product, whereas on this it is very clearly on the top there. We're now in Windows 11 and I've installed it on the laptop hard drive, and I'll probably replace it with an SSD as it is pretty slow, but I just wanted to see it up and running and see what it's like. If you've got experience of Dell support, good or bad, leave a comment. If you've got experience with other companies in terms of support, leave a comment. IBM Lenovo was never really one I had any experience with when I was back in IT, so if you've got stories about what their support was like, it'd be interesting to hear. Thanks for watching. Bye.